Jason Chaffetz. This is part of his job in Congress, former House Oversight Committee chair, now Fox News contributor, among other things. Jason, good afternoon to you. What Comer claims is that the business associates on behalf of Hunter Biden were reaching deep into the West Wing of the White House when Joe Biden was vice president. Here's one of the quotes, email from Comer on screen. He writes, on December 4th, 2015 at 10:45 a.m., in an email with the subject of quotes, Eric Schwerin, a longtime Biden family business associate, wrote to Kate Bedingfield in the office of the VP, providing quotes the White House should use in response to media outreach regarding Hunter Biden's role in Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company. Later that day at 2:30 p.m., Ms. Bedingfield responded to Mr. Schwerin saying VP signed off on this. I also believe this is the time, I think you were 3 days before then Vice President Joe Biden went to Ukraine and made that now infamous comment about firing the prosecutor. When you were doing jobs like these in Washington, how long did it take you on oversight to get the documents that you were pursuing?
Oh, in a lot of cases we didn't. I mean, in cases we were pursuing, the Hillary Clinton case, the IRS whistleblower case, they just destroyed them. I mean, they literally by the tens of thousands destroyed them, even though they were under subpoena and there were no consequences. But supposedly in this case, NARA, the archives, has these records. And what you want to do, Bill, is triangulate it. You want to be able to, there's somebody sending it and somebody receiving it, right? So if you can get them from both, you got to compare and see if they're actually the same email and exactly what do they say together. And then you want to be able to look to the witnesses and others who may have been copied on this. Once you do that, you have the full record. That's what James Comer is trying to do.
So if these emails are held by the National Archives, is that a difficult thing to acquire, or does that take some work?
It should be easy. When it was the Democrats looking at Donald Trump, they got it in record time. They got it, every record they ever wanted in just a couple of days. In fact, they had their subpoenas for attendance and other things enforced immediately. That's going to be the test for this White House. They said there was no communication, that there was arm's length, that there was this wall set up between them. But here's a direct email with a specific date, time, and them saying, a Joe Biden staffer telling the people that work at Rosemont Seneca that, yes, the vice president has signed off on this. And guess what? U.S. policy changed 3 days later when Joe Biden went to Ukraine and announced to the world he was going to leverage $1 billion U.S. taxpayer dollars and make sure that he got this prosecutor fired. So let's read the content of that email.
Okay, Comer says there was no absolute wall as office doors are wide open to Hunter Biden's associates. We just heard from Abbe Lowell. Let's listen to him. He blames Republicans. This was with MSNBC, I believe, last night.
As much as the facts and the law should cool these prosecutors, it looks like the heat that's put on by the Republican congressmen who want to interfere in the normal course of what the Justice Department does puts up the heat.
Now, I don't know if you agree with that or not, but I'll give you a chance to answer it. However, in this case, David Weiss was on the job, right? And he had a secret immunity deal that was all laid out for Hunter Biden. The judge smelled it out and said this doesn't add up. And we are where we are now. But Weiss then became the special counsel. So what measure of faith can the American people have in what seems to be a process that's gone a little screwy, Jason?
I don't think any. First of all, the statute says that a special counsel should be outside the Department of Justice, not a government employee. And guess what? He is. He works. He got a promotion for botching a case. Not only did he let the statute of limitations expire on previous charges, the gun charge that's before him, the judge has rightly pointed out that you have to do this. Why hasn't he done this? He's had this for years, by the way. He could have done that easily. And in the case of investigating these types of ties between the Hunter Biden family business and the corruption that is alleged, they haven't done anything. They haven't done the interviews. And I point to the IRS whistleblowers, the IRS professionals who were never allowed to do their job in full.
Well, there's more to this sometime soon. Jason, thanks for your time. Jason Chaffetz with us
Thanks,
today.
Bill.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.